So they get counter pick for Adam. Who's it going to be here? He's thinking it. Or, you know what? It looks like they know. They're making the enemy team stew here. It looks like they know what they're going to go. What would I go? Into Jack's top. He's got to be feeling himself. He goes for the Garen. Hype. Garen going for, what will it be, 3-0? We'll see. We'll see. We'll see. Exciting to see this adaptation. We're going Garen into Jax. All right, game 4. Pretty hyped up. BDS played that really well to find that win. PSG looking to set another trap for them, saying, you know what, we can just play. This is what I love doing. You get one ward down so that you can see what might be coming in, and then they're holding this line of scrimmage, saying that we could get a punish in a 5v5. Look at this. Oh, the edge. The absolute edge of that sweeping gets to it. If they had moved this over slightly, this is a slight imperfection. You could have had it over slightly so it still sees without being seen. Would like to see that improved from PSG, but BDS with a game-saving trickle of vision on a sweeper. If you guys do play for invades in your games, make sure you bring sweeper, guys. This is one of the big advantages you can get yourself, is a tremendous amount of vision advantage. Go in. You also want to make sure that you know whether or not they've seen you. If you know that they haven't seen you, that empowers you. If you know that they have seen you, then you collect the extra gold and experience from the ward, and you can adjust and make a play backwards. Finally seeing Cassiopeia. It's about time. Cassiopeia, we think, is one of the strongest champions on the patch, period. Very easy. You're probably going to see like Lost Chapter into the rest of the itemization like Rylai's. At least that's how the bot lane Cassiopeias are played. Very strong champion with Rod as well. Now, one of the things about Rod, everyone rushes it, and it makes a lot of sense why you rush it. You want your stats as early as possible. If you're getting it at like 10 minutes, then it turns on by 20, which is in time for the second item spikes. That's pretty good. But another option you can do is something like Catalyst or Tier. You can go Catalyst, Tier, build out your second and third item, and then go for Rod. And the difference there is then you're taking level 15 and turning it to level 16. So you have a little bit of a weaker moment in that 10 to 20 range. You're a little bit stronger 10 to 20. You're a little bit weaker in 20 to like 28 while people are getting third items. But then when you go, you jump. No matter what level you're at, you'll always gain a level with Rod of Ages, meaning that you can get that tremendous spike for yourself. Now, another champion that we get, so this is straight off of our tier list. These are two of the highest champions on the mid and jungle. This is our number 1 jungler, and Cass, I believe, is number 3 on mid lane. Finally getting a chance to see it, especially into, look at this, 4 melees potentially when they're jumping in, especially when we are talking about dashes. Can't W, can't Q, can't Gale Force, can't To the Skies, can't Headbutt. All right, look at all the abilities that are turned off by the miasma from Cassiopeia. So very excited to see that champion in line. Laning is one of the moments that you can take advantage, right? They have to go tier to start, otherwise they do run out of mana. That much is guaranteed. And you can try to take advantage of that wave. Now, I wish that they would show us more top. Jax versus Garen right now is when it gets pretty spicy. There is some amount of skill expression here of the Q from Garen being responded to by the counter-strike on Jax. Then also the timing of the counter-strike on Jax on Garen, you can turn on your tenacity. So there is some like frame perfect chance for interaction there. We'll be excited to see it. Garen tends to have some trouble for the first couple levels. You really actually want to have multiple points in E before the damage takeover comes online. Let's see, we're going for a play into Q. Waco's going to be able to have permanent uptime, but this is an early level of Felios, means that there's very little to be done here. Also worth noting, this is Doran's blade being used on the Felios. Normally we saw a lot of culls last year on the Felioses, basically saying like, yeah, we're just like, if we're scaling, we're scaling, don't even try to fight. The fact that you bought Doran's blade and you still gave up first blood in your lane is a pretty big problem for them. So BDS already going to be in a good spot here. Garen things, hustling to push the Jax off and maintain a freeze. Are we going to have checkmate in the top lane? Jax has a little bit of a CS lead, so he is going to be able to shop, and he's going to come right back and just steamroll this wave. You see how Ivern's already on his way up top? That is not an accident. Nautilus blocking the play. Not able to get his Q buffer. Or sorry, that's Alistar in the way, so never mind. Something that you can do to a Nautilus. A little bit harder since Nautilus kind of pulls himself halfway between you and him. Hold on, we'll see this vision play. Ivern already in position, and this is what you get. You punish the guy trying to break the freeze. This is something we talk about all the time. This is absolutely mandatory if you want to free snowball your game. It is a play that's available in solo queue. It's a play that's available for your clash lineups. Jax is going to be so much trouble right now because of the freeze. Normally you come up as a Jax, you come and you ward, and then you crash the wave. You come and take the numbers, and you say, okay, that's nice. He froze it on me. I lost some amount of minions. Now I'm going to come back, ward for myself, and push up. They catch him during the ward timer. Ivern in here, Nautilus from here, Garen from here. 3 different directions to make him pay the maximum here. Now this stacked wave dies under turret. Not only that, but Garen's already 6. Jax is going to be hustling to try to get 6 off of this wave. So a big advantage available here. Using multiple different spells. Q saved for after the counter strike. Silence for the most amount of time. You see how they have this here? Also to gain vision of him as he jumps over. So well played by BDS. Using Ivern to its fullest. Absolutely love it. Also, we're going to come back to these camps. We've got the dragon is down. Jax is axed. Very, very good start for BDS here. Now, Garen, let's see if he tries to pull the wave. Ooh, accidentally going a little bit too close to the turret. Would have liked to get that freeze again. They're going to be in a good spot no matter how you cut it. We do see the Lost Chapter. Kind of a nod to how weak Rod of Ages, how weak Catalyst has become ever since they changed it. If you remember, on the item release, Catalyst cost 1100, and you had this like League of Rod of Ages where everyone picked Catalyst. Lost Chapter was 1300. They have since swapped those, and now basically you never see Roa even on the champions where it's good because Lost Chapter is too important. And it's also it just happens to be that number that you're in mid-wave and you're like, okay, 9 waves have come by, it's 5 minutes. Yeah, like I have Lost Chapter money. I do not have 1300 gold money. And that's on purpose, right? That first break, that really matters for these level 6 spikes. You want to make sure you're as strong as possible. And it's just very difficult to have 1300 gold at that stage in the game. But we are going to have plenty of stats here. The combination of Seraph's Embrace plus what's probably going to be... let's see, what's going to be this game? Usually it's Landry's. And against multiple melees, I suppose I don't see a reason why that's going to change. But we'll see if there's any adaptation, whether or not they go for Crown of the Shattered Queen to get more defensive stats. And to be able to fight against Poke or All In. But I don't think that she's going to need that. Landry's is just so much better in the damage potential. Sheo with a good proc. There you go. Beautifully done with the tenacity to shield. Love this use of the bush, by the way. You want to place bushes that are going to be good for you and bad for them. You're walking around that wall now. You've created new terrain that blocks it. Let's see the rest of this. Maokai's going for the engage. Means that they're absolutely going to get the Herald for themselves. And Aji's going to pull it out. And they got multiple roots on the backside of this. So it looks like they're actually going to get the maximum here. Are they tempted? No, Lebrov making a little bit too obvious here. In fact, not just obvious, saying, you know what, I'm actually just in position. Unfortunately, she's not able to get the play. Maokai trying to dodge the big ultimate from Cass, but has she stepped too far? That is not a trade you're ever willing to take. My goodness. Got an exciting game on our hands. I dig it. Now we see this. The Blasting Wand tends to be Ludens, right, if you're going here, but like we talked about, Lost Chapter into Rylai's. This is the most common build that you see on the Swains of the world, of the Battle Mages. You just get the Lost Chapter, just get that enough mana, and then Rylai's, which is really aggressively statted to just be one of the best items in the entire game. means that she'll be able to get that for herself. But again, they're not doing the small things, right? Just letting the shop manifest. Oh, unless we turn around and we come back and she doesn't have those items, then we'll give them the props for that. But you know, it's a small thing, but misinformation, right? If you're talking about at this level, what the difference between killing a minion and not killing a minion and what it does for your wave state, then I think that they should be also thinking about whether or not to push a wave or not push a wave, or whether or not to shop before they see me or not see me. Like, all of those things add up. There's a lot of optimization still available in this game. The game is not solved, or if it's solved, it's not being expressed at the pro level that to that effect. So how do they react to a little bit of a weaker play here? You see Jax trying to get in, is going to use Counter-Strike to get a Demolish proc off. It's actually very interesting to see that he went Demolish. Kind of a, I mean, when I say kind of, I mean a lot of bit disrespectful. We see a flash here. He's going to take this fight for himself. But the E mitigating enough damage. Jax has enough tools, but the rest of the team is able to go forward. Cass is going to win this. You see the power of Ivern. Even if you were to go magic resist, which there's no reason here to not go Hex Drinker before the rest of your build. You're playing into Kaisa, Nautilus, Ivern, Cassiopeia. This should be a Hex Drinker first. Then you can go ahead and finish the rest of your item. Then the added benefit was that it's not going to slow down your mana immune at all, because it still takes that time to stack the tier, no matter how you cut it. Beautiful teleport by Nuke. You see that ward down. They could have also gone over here to get a better position potentially, but they get completely one-sided trade here. Crowny's going to say the best way out is in, going to go for this kill. Flashing forward, can he get one more attack? No, and it means that they're actually going to lose both other players. Potentially due from the fact that the teleport came here instead of here. I'm not positive that the ward wasn't down, but that's worth checking into. And PSG survives what could have been a back-breaking play, having lost mid, and if they lose bot and having Cass getting all those kills in return would have been such a big spike. You see the synergy Ivern here using Q, getting the Daisy proc, using the shield to slow him down to make sure that you can hold him in place. Beautiful chain of events for them there. Let's check this play. All right, so there is no other ward here. Yeah, so Labrov, you see that? Boom, I absolutely love this ward being dropped. In the pit, you know that the fight's going to progress into this grass, into this bush. You want to have this available to yourself. Now they end up overcommitting. 2 people getting hit, not the end of the world, but all 3 getting hit by the Bramble Smash is a big deal. It also means that they don't have the Miasma available for the Jace. They end up losing 2 carries and somehow still get back on the map in time for Dragon. Well, sometimes that's what the replays are. They don't have any respect for what it's like to prepare an objective or what that means. The observers can never be trusted for that. But anyways, BDS is able to get second Dragon for themselves. That'll be very nice for later in the game when we're talking about Ivern setting up death bushes. There's a lot of cool things you can do. You see how they're warping the vision here. That control ward is very interesting, actually. Like, it gives them a nice little pocket that they can survive in and hold vision. But we'll see if we get those. Ivern should basically never make it through picks and bans. I think it's that much stronger than every other jungler right now. Oh my goodness, that's the ultimate. And then you wait for the Counter-Strike to go down. You buffer the R cast. You know that Jax is going to hold on to that E for as long as possible, right? So you wait. You wait so that you can cast your ultimate as you're being stunned by the Jax. That way you still get it off. Boom, and he gets the hit. Dunks him and gets that kill. Garen diff, guys. I don't care how good Renekton looks in your drafts. Adam does not play it at the same level that he plays his other champions. We've talked about some of the things that Renekton players can do differently, but Adam just has a different understanding of the gods, all right? Garen, Olaf, Darius, Set. We want to see him on those champions and those champions only. BDS looking strong. I mean, it is exciting to see. It is exciting to see the innovation and seeing like different levels, and I'm excited if BDS makes it out, but it would be a shame if PSG does not make it into the main draw. There's frankly no reason why NA should have a second team before before PSG should be in the main draw. Like, to me, that's absolutely ludicrous. And they earned it for themselves. Enough iterations of Flash Wolves making it to Worlds and NA having a reasonable record against them. So they have merited that invite, but I feel like something's wrong where you don't have the number one seed from these teams in. Like, Vietnam and Taiwan have proven that they are competitive. These teams are great. Hopefully in 2024 they just get a bid, and then they get other teams that have to fight against other teams from NA, because NA has not proven to be enough better than these teams to get that spot. Europe, yes. And I don't mind Europe having a fourth team that gets to be in the play-ins, but if Europe's fourth team is costing Taiwan's first team, I would not like that result. Beautiful little interaction right here. Coming up, holding this territory. They've got Garen coming in. Aphelios is not part of this fight, but if he's able to get into this fight, they could have a benefit. The problem is you are never going to beat Ivern in these sieges. There's too much advantageous bushes that you can lay down, creating vision advantages. Basically, you know where your wards are. You can put the bushes in spots that allow you to either kite. The best spots are around these walls. That means that you can go in and out of these terminals without being seen by wards that would normally see you. Very importantly, also, to not connect bushes sometimes. Like, see how these are not connected? That means that you can actually lay vision into one or the other and hold the bushes there for longer. Look at this. Adam's absolutely just taking this. Why did he even use his Q there? That doesn't... Oh, maybe must have just been trying to land the Q while in the Counter-Strike defensive animation. Aji adapting. One of the things that we talk about with these series, what players tend to do. Aji saying, okay, I know that you're buffering your Q perfectly against me, so I'm actually going to release Counter-Strike a quarter second or a half second earlier. You see that? Boom, gets his stun. Actually, never even gets stunned. It looks like he might have even just spaced it. Or just killed him despite the Counter-Strike never going. But yeah, if you see people making these adaptations, then sure, you can change your gameplay. You can say, I'm going to stun a quarter second earlier and see if I can land that, and then move away from there, so they never get their buffer opportunity off on me. Garen potentially saying, like, okay, like, I will try to answer your answer. You have shown that you're gonna drop your E sooner, so I will drop my Q sooner. And that's, I love to see the mental games. Unfortunately, they don't get enough opportunity to fight against each other until you get these best of fives. But it's good to see within the series, how are you going to adapt? Now, face checking a Garen. Ooh, Nautilus probably did not want that. Might have wanted to hit that so he can land his ultimate, but ends up not casting it. Face checking Garen becomes almost impossible to do at this stage in the game. Plus, you have Cassiopeia on almost 3k gold lead, like we said here. It was the Everfrost, actually. We saw Tier, Lost Chapter, finish this, then finish Everfrost, and then finish Seraphs. Then almost definitely they're going to go into Void Staff and Rabadons after that. But it is an important optimization for your build paths. Ivern, again, we control the bush, you don't. We can put the vision inside. How are you ever going to siege onto us? Not only that, but my whole team has Nashor's Tooth now. So they are taking it to them. Ivern showing the strength. Also, Ivern Garen with wonderful, wonderful synergy. Anyone that you hit with a Q on the Ivern means that Garen can jump over walls to tag them. And they're just taking this to PSG. This is a stomp. We expect nothing less from an Ivern game, honestly. Ivern, short amount of time, maybe too short, but we had the name River Treant, and stomping on the rift a little bit, doing some off-meta things, but just doing, Ivern's a fun champ. I love seeing at Worlds. It's different enough and fun enough. It's a unique champion with beautiful set of abilities that makes it a lot of fun to innovate with. Would like to see more champions like it. Although, maybe few and far between. And I don't normally like to ask for something to be in a role. Look at this, right? See, boom. Q, Garen just shuffles right over the wall. I don't want them to necessarily just grab a champion and design a champion for the different roles. There's the effect of the Rylai's. Oh, ends up cutting him off. Gets the information here from the sweeping lens. Uses the Everfrost to self-peel. And Aji is just not going to get anything for himself. Only worth 220 gold. The guy who's been carrying the series up until this point is a super minion now. Oh my goodness. Garen has brought him to that level. Now you get this big problem. You go to game 5 and you show like, all right, we're not picking Renekton anymore. We get to pick whatever we want. We're going to game 5. Almost definitely, I have to assume that PSG is going to choose red side to not let Adam get one of his gods as, you know, the perfect counter pick. They want to be able to see it and build the matchup. But this game is dusted. Ivern just shielding over these walls. Daisy being a pain in everyone's butt. You see the cleanse, but it's not enough to stop them from going forward. Nado's actually missing auto attack right there onto Aphelios, and that was an Aphelios with no cleanse, so that was absolutely a window that they could have taken for themselves. God, Ivern this whole time has just been ripping them apart. They haven't taken the moment to just go and battle this thing down. Look at the size of these shields, by the way. All right, they try to find a window, but Duskblade is an item, guys. Thanks, Riot. Great item you've made there. For the second time this fight, Kaisa goes invulnerable to not die in return to the Jax. No, wait. That was just her E. Never mind. It's fine. It wasn't Duskblade. She just did it on her own accord. That's fine. Balanced. Kaisa's a wonderful champion. It is Jace is the only one with it. Look at this movement. Boom. Phase Rush just never giving him a window. Oh, Maple canceling 2 of his autos there. Not a good sign. Might be, you know, they might be thinking 1 foot in the grave already for this game, but we hope that we don't have that effect. Right? Boom. See? Cleanse. Nautilus actually missing a step. I don't think it was controlled by the Alistar. Jax gets a 3-man stun. That's about as good as you can pray for this situation. But you wait for the carries. Actually, how does Jax not actually just carry this fight? It's because he's tiny, for one, and because Daisy is the better super minion. Wow. We're just seeing the strength from the kit here, and tries to get in, but couldn't beat Kaisa going into invulnerability. Ivern casting the bush into the bush so that he can gain vision there. Oh, a nice little one-sided trade. You accept that if you're Jace. That's what you're trying to do, right? Little chunks like that. Very little resistance being built as of yet. There's probably going to be a Dead Man's Plate in our very near future. We're looking at a 9k gold lead. This dragon is going to be theirs. This is the last time you'll see Adam up in top lane. Mid lane Prio, Kaisa pushing. Now here's an example, right? No need to fast push that. This is what I prefer. You see this? Slow. All right, it doesn't need to be fast. By pushing this in, all you're doing is allowing Aphelios to pick it up. That's all you're doing. Kaisa coming over here, you haven't accomplished anything. You're like coming over and rotating here, coming into this area, nothing's happened. You don't get anything. Instead, you could have had this wave building up, stacking. Now you could be sieging this. You guys are watching the fight. We'll let the fight happen, but what a fight it is. Is Garen going to 1v4? That's the question. I mean, they're going to lose the game on the other side of the map for sure. But if Kaisa had been stacking a wave, they would have broken this. Wave would now be meeting them. They could still get all of these same plays while also not giving Aphelios a wave to get back in this case. Now, Aphelios wants to get a huge flamethrower here. Should be using it for the minions. Right? You just want to land this flamethrower ultimate into the middle. He's not casting it. Why is he not casting it? He's looking for something too perfect here. He's trying to synergize with the team and go for a fight. Should have been trying to just kill all the minions. If you get the minions dead, then you have a chance at going for this kill. Instead, he ends up being a sitting duck for the Kaisa to come pop on the backline. I like that BDS is playing this a little safer. You know, let it go. See how these bushes are in different spots? This is to allow them to get something like this control ward down. It gives them a point to siege from, and then you don't connect the bushes so that they don't get vision in the entire bush with just one ward. Now they hold the line. They end up coming back. They're going to go for the Chemtech Soul for themselves. This is very nice for Garen. We've also spoken many times about what Garen can do on this map using the extra move speed from the Scryer's Bloom, from the fruits. Wow, look at this. They think they're 2v1ing him, and he's just 1v2ing easily. Easily hitting both of them. Love that job by Maple jumping over. You see how he didn't go for the Q onto the Garen? He jumped over him with the to the skies, jumping over the top. Very nicely done to get to there. Now these bushes, even though they can see into them, this is enough for your team to get the on-hit procs. Very valuable on a champion like Kai'Sa. And also when you have Ivern, you should instantly consider whether or not Rageblade is the best build for your champion. Because Rageblade will get the added effects from the on-hit build from the Ivern. On top of that, you might even be getting Ardent Sensor. So stack all of those effects, and it really does add up. And basically, no matter what the build is from Ivern, most times they're going to be going for this shield and heal build, very supporty. But you can see some AP builds as well. You see the Dark Seal has been turned on. You see the Nashor's Tooth here, but we have this. All right, you did end up with that. Wait, was I wrong? Was it Duskblade last time actually? Now that I'm thinking, I was looking at Aphelios, not at Kai'Sa. I'm gonna have to go back and correct myself. We'll do it after this game. They see the engage, they get the front to back, they've got the super, they're not waiting for anything else. They say your turret is exposed, your inhibitor is exposed, we're going to go after it. Alistar goes in for a combo but gets silenced by Garen, meaning that he's not able to get his pulverize in. So even though he went for the flash, something you can do to do that, and it's a trick you can use on headbutt on Alistar as well, is anytime that they are looking at you, you press W on them. And then if they have a flash button that would normally get them, your champion will instantly respond with headbutt. And so what you do is you just press W, and then as they approach, they step back, you step back. They step again, you press W on them again. You'll start walking towards them. That's fine. If they flash onto you, you'll immediately headbutt them back. So a cool little interaction. But then Garen can do the opposite. I've got my silence ready. I will click it. I will click on Alistar. So the moment you flash, boom, you're instantly silenced. And there's no flash pulverize available. So very neat. I do want to go back and see this little fight in the pits here. What are the items that we're looking at? Okay, yeah. No, she bought items. Does she have it? It's unclear. We haven't seen her items yet. Yeah, so she did have Duskblade. Okay, so it was Duskblade. I thought it might have been the E, but it was definitely the Duskblade that made her invulnerable. Woo! Silver Scrapes, baby.